Hi, everybody. My name is Matt Haynes. I'm an audiobook narrator, and I'm dedicated to learning new accents and voices throughout the year. The voice for this month is going to be Sean Connery. Now, why am I doing a Sean Connery video other than the entertainment value? Well, because there are many different characters that I am assigned to do in the audiobooks I narrate, and it's helpful to have some celebrities as starting points for some of these. What we're going to do is break down the Sean Connery voice into some very simple principles and then apply those principles to song lyrics. Ta-da! This is the Mad Tune, everybody. This is a picture of me with my glasses on, meant to illustrate where I'm feeling the sound coming from my body when I'm doing the Sean Connery accent. So what I get with the Sean Connery accent is this deep, deep, thick, rumbling creaminess right down in my throat, and then coming out with these very, very narrow and specific rolling syllables coming out of my lips and my front teeth. So let's say that I am saying your breath's as hard as kerosene, which is from the song we're going to do. I would say, as the Matt voice, your breath's as hard as kerosene. A little bit in the back of the mouth and a little bit of nasal and, fairly open in the front. Well, with Sean Connery, it goes all the way down and comes out with your breath's as hard as kerosene. Now, with celebrity voices, it's very helpful if I can have some kind of a model in my head of what the essence of this person is. In previous videos, I've described John Wayne as a person who's being roused from their sleep. I've had Jack Nicholson be a steady body of water that occasionally gets rippled. Well, with Sean Connery, to me, it's an oak tree and its thin branches being blown by the wind. So the thick trunk, this very, very deep sound that is grounded and really, really strong and wide. But still, these little breaks of creaks and cracks when he is talking and the shaking of things and the syllables that come out. So let's go to some really, really simple things with the Sean Connery voice. Now, if you want to do just like a Saturday Night Live style Sean Connery voice, it's really very simple. First, just deepen your voice. Let's take again the line, your breath's as hard as kerosene. Your breath's as hard as kerosene. Next, take that low boom and add a trilling R. Your breath's as hard as kerosene. Next, give yourself a lisp so that the S becomes an SH. Your breath's as hard as kerosene. Now, that's really going to take you pretty darn far. However, let's add some bits and pieces that can solidify it even more. So if we have the oo sound, that becomes an U type of sound. An U, almost like an E, but it's a U sound. So who is this would become who is this? Next, we have the difference in the I sound. In General American, it's the lowercase I is I. In Scottish, it becomes more like an E. So hit would be het. Next, there's a slight creak occasionally when Sean Connery's voice goes up. The accent that he has is very musical. Don't want to lose the grounding of the oak tree. But occasionally a little bit of speculation up there. So let's say you weren't your mother's only boy, but her favorite one it seemed, from the song coming up. You weren't your mother's only boy, but her favorite one it seemed. Now, just a few things to keep in mind. Sean Connery was born in Edinburgh. It's where he grew up, to working class parents. And the Edinburgh accent has a very, very rich, melodious sound to it with very, very thick consonants. So please check out my video on Edinburgh, which features the upper class of that accent, but it also has a lot of the qualities that come when I'm doing Sean Connery in the working class element. Also, there's a video just on Scottish where I do REM's Night Swimming, and that can be helpful as well. A couple of things that I've noticed with Sean Connery's accent that are a little bit different than what I've outlined in those videos. First of all, the A sound. Usually I presume that in a Scottish accent that becomes an E, so way would be wee. With Sean Connery it becomes an S, so way would be way. Also, the ow sound becomes something more like an O rather than an oo, which I presumed was going to be the result. So rather than oot, it becomes out. What's more, the I sound, the long I, rather than becoming the oi, which I presumed it would, Sean Connery tends to say it very much like I would. I. Okay, everybody, it is song time. We're going to take these principles from the Sean Connery voice. We're going to apply them to a Western, because that would be perfect for Sean Connery. Well, this is going to be for Townes Van Zandt's Pancho and Lefty. Living on the road, my friend, is going to keep you free and clean. Now you wear your skin like iron, your breast as hard as kerosene. You weren't your mother's only boy, but her favorite one, it seemed. She began to cry when you said goodbye, sank into your dreams. Pancho was a bandit, boys. His horse was fast as polished steel, wore his gun outside his pants for all the honest world to feel. Pancho met his match, you know, on the streets down in Mexico, and nobody heard his dying words. That's the way it goes. Now, Lefty, he can't sing the blues all night long like he used to. The dust that Pancho bet down south ended up in Lefty's mouth. The day they laid poor Pancho low, Lefty split for Ohio, where he got the bread to go. Ain't nobody knows. Now the poets tell how Pancho fell, and Lefty's living in a cheap hotel. Streets quiet and Cleveland's cold, so the story ends. We're told. Pancho needs your prayers, it's true. And save a few for Lefty, too. He just did what he had to do. Now he's growing old. And a few federales say they could have had him any day. They only let him go so long. Out of kindness, I suppose. And that was Pancho and Lefty by Townes Van Zandt. Hey, if Sean Connery can play a Russian, a Spaniard, and an Irishman without changing his voice fundamentally, I say he can be the narrator for a Wild West campfire ballad. Okay? Music is by Kevin MacLeod. Gives this stuff out royalty-free, public domain. Thank you so much, Kevin. So, do I get the prize for being the best Sean Connery impersonator? No. However, this is a decent starting point, and if you have specific insights into the Sean Connery accent and voice, please put them in the comments below and let's get talking. And I will see you next time.